This is my recap for day 2 live. I took a few good trades today. The first trade I did was on BABA, and I'll go over that real quick. So BABA opened up really weak, despite the good news that it had. So I was watching it at the open. It sold off first minute, sold off for the first 5 minutes. So I was looking at it for potential reversal. I saw that it was found a new low, like around right here, 147. Also a little hammer. Failed to make a new low, but I wasn't quite sure because it had sold off drastically, about almost 4 points. So I kind of waited for a confirmation, and this was it right here. This flag on the 1 minute was my confirmation. But still, it wasn't like fully enough, so I waited a little bit. It held this, popped above this 9 moving average, held it, and so I saw that it was holding it, so I went long 100 shares here right at the open of the next 5-minute candle. And I went long at 149.32, and my stop was, my stop loss was 148.98, so right below the low of this previous candle. So my max loss per trade is $50 with 100 shares. So that was a risk of 34 cents. So I was accepting a loss of $34 if it did not go in my way. And then my first profit target was right below the previous day close at 151, and that would have made it a, that's a 68 cents reward. So that's 34 cent risk, 68 cent reward. That's a 1 to 2. That's good for me. And the trade went great. It popped above these moving averages, waited, sold half at 151.01. And then my next profit target was, so it's 1 to 2 and beyond at least. So my next profit target was at VWAP, but I got a little trigger happy and sold a little early. I thought it was getting weak, so I sold half, and then I was fully out at this right here. Now this was kind of a mistake because on the 5 minute, in retrospect, there was no reason to sell. Like, I entered based on the 5 minute, little flag here, 1 minute flag here, and there was really no reason to sell, and I could have held well above VWAP. But either way, there was a really good trade. I hit double my profit target for the day, so this was a $206 trade. So it was a really good trade. And what did I do? I kept trading like a moron. I just got greedy. I did well, and I got super excited, and I was just let's let the good times roll. So thankfully, I didn't lose all my profits. I lost some, and then I gained some. But overall, I felt silly trading. So my next trade was with MU, and that was a good trade. But then I'll show you later on how I started to get chopped up. So I saw MU. It opened up really strong at the open. Well, no, it opened up kind of weak, but then at 9:40, it opened up really strong. I wanted to take it on the 5 minute opening range breakout, as well as when it shot up over this VWAP, but I didn't react fast enough, didn't get a good entry. So I waited for a potential reversal at the top once it made a new high of the day. So that happened right here, as you can see. It kind of failed to break this resistance. So I saw that, it met the 9 moving average, so it could easily have used this as a support. So I wanted to see if it was either going to be a support or if it was going to break through these levels. So I saw here that a little hammer, like they tried to push it down, has the 9, but they failed. But again, to me, that shows weakness. So I went short at the next candle right below the 9 moving average, and my stop loss was really tight. It was either going to go down or it was going up. So my stop loss was 40.80 right here. So a 5 cent stop loss. I went 100 shares long at 40.72. So sorry, 8 cents stop loss. And my profit target was just below VWAP. So my profit target was right below VWAP, like right around 430. So that makes it a 1 to 5 risk reward. I'm risking 8 cents and I'm potentially gaining about 42 cents per share. So that was an excellent trade for me. Not really much of a risk. 100 shares, really low risk, high reward, and it went well. You can see here. I sold 50 at 40.32, right below VWAP. And then I wanted to practice just holding because there's really no indication. Like on the last trade, I sold too early. So on this one, there was no indication to sell. On the 5 minute, no indication to sell. Just lower on the 1 minute, lower. And when it gets to VWAP, it tends to kind of bounce back up, and I was expecting that. So I was nice and calm. And then dropped below VWAP, and yeah, I got out. I wasn't really sure where my out target was. I just when I saw that it was gaining strength, and that was right here. I kind of saw this little mini flag freak me out a little bit. So I got out the other half and I got out all at 40.10. So overall, I mean, decent trade. But then I got greedy and I started just making stupid. I was just on the roll and I just started trading recklessly. So I went short, got stopped out. So short, stopped out. Long, stopped out. Long, stopped out. So these were all just silly trades, and I finished with this rampage, and I just felt stupid. So I stepped back, and that was it. I just kind of locked in my profits, doubled my profit target, and I decided to just step outside and just stop and make sure I didn't overtrade and lose all of my profits. So that is day 2. I'm going to try to keep posting these up so people can get a perspective from what it's like to be a newbie here. We always see Andrew trade and Peter and Robert on the recaps, and they're great, but hopefully some of the newer traders can relate, and we can all share our experiences starting out. So that is it. Have a good weekend.